into the woods again. Now they were out of sight of the men, but not of Mrs. Frisbee. Instantly they regrouped behind the blackberry bramble and charged out again, but this time in smaller numbers, first 2, then 3, then 2 again. She saw that what they were up to. They were not in the least confused. They were making 7 rats look like 20 rats, or 40, a steady stream of them, in the mist, in the hectic turning, running, turning, hiding. She could not tell whether or not she recognized any of them. The men shouted, "Look at that, a pack of them! How did they get out? Get the nets." The doctor turned off the pump. The man with the hose pulled off his mask. As a new wave of rats danced along the edge of the clearing, all 3 men ran to the truck, and from it pulled long-handled nets. But Mrs. Frisbee, up on her branch, was staring at the blackberry bush again. She saw something that all the others, including the rats, did not see. An 8th rat had come out. He emerged running, but then he stumbled. He got up and ran again, this time more slowly, circling vaguely to the right. He did not seem to know where he was going. He reached a sparse thicket of saplings, almost out of her sight, and there abruptly he fell over on his side and lay still. Meanwhile, all 3 men, holding their nets low, ran across the stubble toward the parade of rats. But as they approached the parade, it vanished. The rats, their purpose accomplished, melted into the misty woods, and this time they did not reappear. Mrs. Frisbee watched them as they loped away, swiftly in single file, and disappeared from her view, back in the deep forest and up the mountainside. The rear guard was gone, bound for Thorn Valley, but the 8th rat still lay unmoving among the saplings, and 2 had never come out at all. "They're gone," said the man who had worn the mask. "They fooled us." "What happened?" asked Mr. Fitzgibbon. "Simple enough," said the doctor. "They had 2 escape holes, and they used the other one." He walked back to the blackberry bramble and bent back, taking the branches aside with his foot. "Here it is," he said. "Quite a long tunnel, one of the longest I've seen." To the other 2 men he said, "Get the pick and the shovels." For half an hour they dug, laying open a narrow trench along the tunnel. From her angle of view in the tree, Mrs. Frisbee could see only the top of this trench, and not down into the bottom. Still, she watched, saying to herself, perhaps after all, there were only 8. Maybe they decided that 8 would be enough. Then one of the shovels brought through into the air. They had come to the rat storage room. "There's 2 of them," said one of the men, and her heart sank. Who were they? She wanted to run and look, but she did not dare. "Careful," said the doctor. There may still be some gas in there. Let the wind blow it out." "Phew," said one of the men. "That's not gas, that's garbage." "Open it up a little more," said the doctor. One of the men wielded his shovel for another minute, and the doctor peered in. "Garbage," he said. "Last night's dinner garbage and 2 dead rats." Mrs. Frisbee thought. "He sounds disappointed." "Only 2?" said Mr. Fitzgibbon. "Yes, it's easy to see what happened. In a hole this size there could have been a couple of dozen at least, but these 2 must have been up at the front near the tunnel. They got a whiff of the gas and it killed them. But before they died, they must have warned the others, so the rest ran out." "Warned them?" said Mr. Fitzgibbon. "Could they do that?" "Yes," said the doctor. "They're intelligent animals. Some can do a great deal more than that." But he did not elaborate. Instead, he turned to one of them. "We might as well take these 2 back with us." From the truck, the man produced a white paper sack and a pair of plastic gloves. He pulled the gloves on, reached into the hole, and placed the 2 dead rats into the sack. He did this with his back to Mrs. Frisbee so that she never got even a glimpse of them. "All right," said the doctor. "Let's close it up." They shoveled dirt back into the trench. and returned to the trunk. "You'll let me know if they have rabies," said Mr. Fitzgibbon. "Rabies?" said the doctor. "Yes, of course, but I doubt it. They look perfectly healthy." "Perfectly healthy," thought Mrs. Frisbee sadly, "except for being dead." She looked into the woods, over toward the saplings, where the other rat lay. Was he, too, now dead? To her surprise, she saw that he was moving, or was he? In the midst, it was hard to tell, but something had moved. After the truck had left, Mr. Fitzgibbon stood looking at the ruin of the rose bush. He seemed vaguely puzzled and disappointed. He must be wondering, she thought, whether it had been worth it just to exterminate 2 rats. He had no way of knowing, of course, that all the rest were also gone and could not return, that his grain loft was safe. In a moment he turned and walked to the house. As soon as he was safely gone, Mrs. Frisbee scurried down from her tree and into the woods. On the ground she could no longer see the rat or the thicket where he lay, but she knew the direction, and she ran. Around a stump, over the mound of leaves, past the cedar tree, there were the saplings. And there lay the rat, still on his side. It was Brutus. Beside him, futilely trying to move him, stood Mr. Ages. She reached him, breathless from her run. "Is he dead?" "No, he's unconscious, but he's alive and breathing. I think he'll revive if I can just get him to swallow this." Mr. Ages indicated a small corked bottle, no bigger than a thimble, on the ground beside them. "What is it?" "An antidote for the poison. We thought this might happen, so we got it ready last night." He got just a little of the gas, made it this far, and then collapsed. Help me lift his head. Mr. Ages had been unable to lift Brutus's head and the bottle at the same time. Now, with Mrs. Frisbee's help, he forced open Brutus's mouth and then poured it just a few drops of the smoky liquid the bottle contained. In a few seconds, Brutus made a gulping noise, swallowed hard, and spoke. "It's dark," he said. "I can't see." "Open your eyes," said Mr. Ages. Brutus opened them and looked around. "I'm out," he said. "How did I get here?" "Don't you remember?" "No. Wait. Yes, I was in the hole. I smelled gas, an awful choking, sweet smell. I tried to run, but I stumbled over somebody lying on the floor, and I fell down, and I must have breathed some of the gas. I couldn't get up. And then I heard the others running past me. I couldn't see them. It was darker than night. Then one of them ran into me and stopped. He pulled me up and tried to run again, but I was too dizzy. I kept falling. The other one helped me up again, and I went a few steps more. He kept pulling me and then pushing, and somehow finally I got to the end of the tunnel. I saw daylight, and the air smelled better, but there was nobody else there. I thought the others must have left. So I ran a little farther, and that's all I remember." Mrs. Frisbee said, "What about the one who helped you?" "I don't know who it was. I couldn't see, and he didn't speak at all. I suppose he was trying to hold his breath. When we got near the end, and I could see daylight, he gave one last shove toward it, and then he turned back." "He went back?" "Yes.